Uni-Zombies0709 here on the No Limit YouTube channel for deck profile for you guys this week. This week we will be covering zombies, which happens to be featuring Uni-Zombie, which is one of the more recent like zombie support cards. Obviously, you know, zombie in the name, but Uni-Zombie's always kind of been something that I've found to be a little bit of an interesting card. It allows to kind of speeds up the deck. At least from the way I look at it, it kind of just speeds things up. Even if you kind of can't attack, it's kind of the same thing as back when people would play, you know, a whole bunch of soul charges and kind of take their own battle phase away in order to do something. So in a way, Uni-Zombies like that. For anyone who doesn't know what the card does, we'll get to it whenever we actually get to it in the deck. So let's just kind of go over the deck. I'll explain some of the card choices and yeah. So starting off with the monsters, we have one Kasha. This is something that I'm sure that some people might not remember, so I'm going to read this one out. It is, I believe, a level 8. Yeah, it's a level 8 monster with 1000 defense, question mark attack. It's Earth Zombie, obviously, with 1000. The 1000 defense is kind of relevant. Cannot be normal summon or set, must be special summon from your hand by controlling at least 2 or more face-up zombie monsters, and cannot be special summoned by any other ways. When this card is special summoned, you shuffle every other monster on the field back into the owner's deck, and then this card gains or attack equal to the number of face-up zombie monsters returned back to the deck this way, times 1000. So if you remember back to the whole Cyber Dragon thing, it's kind of like the Cyber Eltonin. Eltonin, when it's special summoned, it sends all monsters on the field to the graveyard. This kind of puts everything back into the deck, so I mean, it's kind of similar to that. So yeah, continuing on, we have one Dark Arm. Obviously there's a lot of darks, so Dark Arm's always a nice card to have. 3 Destiny or Malicious, 3 Zombie Masters, 3 Mizukis, 3 Goblin Zombie. This is why I said that 1000 defense is kind of relevant, because you can search it off of Goblin Zombie. Anything with 1200 or less defense from your deck can be searched for it, or off of Goblin Zombie. Next up is 3 Uni-Zombies. Again, I really think that this card is actually pretty amazing. It's a level 3 tuner, 1300 attack, 0 defense, obviously is a zombie. You can target one face-up monster on the field, doesn't have to be one of your own. You can discard one card, and if you do, increase the target's level by 1. You can target one face-up monster on the field. Monsters you control cannot attack for the rest of this turn except for zombie-type monsters. Also send one zombie-type monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, increase that target's level by 1. You can only use each of the effects of Uni-Zombie once per turn. So you can use both of them once per turn. You can target any monster in the field for both of the effects to increase the level by 1. And not to mention, you can use it to send Mizuki to the graveyard. Not to mention that you can tell that there's not very many discard outlets, spell and trap wise here. So getting Malicious into the graveyard is kind of tricky outside of like Foolish. But you do have the Zombie Master and you have the Uni-Zombie, even more so the Uni-Zombie, because you don't have to have something in the graveyard, unlike Zombie Master, to actually, you know, work. So you can discard the Malicious and all that other happy fun stuff. So it's just really, it's actually one of my favorite new support cards for zombies. Continuing on with the monsters, we have one Spirit Reaper, kind of a defensive card. Some decks actually have trouble getting over cards like this. Not to mention, being able to reap a card out of your opponent's hand is pretty nice as well, should the opportunity, you know, present itself. And then, of course, Plague Spreader. I mean, 1 zombies without basically at least 1 Plague Spreader. Spells, we have 2 Book of Life, 1 Regeki, 1 Soul Charge, 1 Foolish Burial for getting things into your graveyard, whether it be Mizuki, Malicious, or if you need to like get something else out of your graveyard, because you already have like a setup with like Uni-Zombie or something. It's just kind of good for getting extra stuff into your graveyard. 2 Pound of Dualities, because you don't exactly need to special summon all the time. You can either just like set this, or you can, you know, put out a Mizuki or something. And I mean, who cares if Mizuki gets destroyed? Same applies to Goblin Zombie. And I accidentally clicked the card, but whatever. Continuing on, 3 MST. Vanities is obviously a very, you know, prominent card. It's something you're going to run into quite a lot, so having this for that. It's also good for against things like Cleaforts, you know, just anything that has back row, or that's kind of back row dependent or pendulum dependent. 1 Burial for the Mizukis, and of course if Plague gets removed as well, you can return them that way. 1 Snatch Steal. This card's kind of hilarious. Again, Uni-Zombie can increase any monster's level by 1, so you can increase your opponent's monster, like if they have a level 4, you can increase it by 1, and just take it with Snatch Steal and then synchro for a level 8. So I mean, it's kind of hilarious that you can do something like that. And it's just, you know, a derpy card in general. And the last spell being Zombie World. This kind of allows you to bypass that drawback that Uni-Zombie has, where you can't attack with anything but zombies for the rest of the turn. The key word in that, by the way, is rest of the turn, so you can do it during main phase 2 after you've attacked with everything already, and it really doesn't matter. But this kind of helps get around that. Not to mention it kind of disrupts a few things, like the tribute summon thing. Qliphorts like the tribute summon disc. They can't do that under this. So I mean, it's kind of useful for a whole bunch of other things as well. Traps, we have one bottomless, one compulsory evacuation device, 3 vanities, emptiness. I've actually been kind of tempted to bring this down to 2 for 1 torrential. And the last one being Solemn Warning. Extra deck, we have one Leo, Keeper of the Sacred Tree. I mean, it's not hard to really actually make this. I mean, making level 10 is not hard. You discard a Malicious or something, make Uni-Zombie level 4, you get your other Malicious. You kind of see where I'm going at with that. So yeah, one Beals, Dark Tuners, you kind of want to run this usually. Not all the time, but it's just a really nice card to have. Same applies with this, Void Ogre Dragon. Again, anyone that's played Infernities knows these 2 cards very well. One Scrap Dragon, one Stardust Spark Dragon. Stardust Sparks are very good for protecting your field spell or your vanities, or just anything in general, really. So it's just nice to kind of have it, and I mean, why not? Kind of nice to follow up with a Uni-Zombie if you happen to actually have Zombie World out, because like if you can't special summon for some, or not special summon, but attack with anything other than zombies, you can kind of protect the field spell and then attack with a spark, stuff like that. Just kind of pointing out something you can do, of course. But yeah, one Black Rose, one Goyo Guardian. You have several ways of making level 16 crows. Goyo is just amazing. Revive King for those decks that actually put things on board that activate when they leave the field, whether it be by battle or whatever. If you destroy them in battle, you can negate them with Revive King if you need to. One Doom Kaiser, again, if you happen to have the field spell, you can take things from your opponent's graveyard. One Armadeus, Keeper of Boundaries. One Castel, the Sky Blaster Musketeer. I keep thinking it's the Avian, like Sky Blaster or something for whatever reason. One Evil Swarm Excite Knight, one Lavolval Chain, one Abyss Dweller, and one Gaga Cowboy. So, obviously Kasha's an interesting card. It's something that I just wanted to kind of play around with. It's actually been okay. I've maybe drawn it one game where I just didn't need it, or I just couldn't play it, and I still didn't need it, but it's still kind of the derpy card that you can pull out of your ass, so to speak, whenever you may need it. And you can, again, search it off of things like Goblin Zombie. You can obviously potentially get it off of Duality, stuff like that. So, I mean, it's just something that I kind of have been having a little bit of fun playing around with. Outside of that, I don't know if there's anything like wacky that I really need to explain. So let me know what you guys think of the deck. Let me know what you guys think of Uni-Zombie. If you have zombie decks that you want to kind of share with everyone, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. If you haven't already, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and until next time, this is Team709 signing out.